谢谢你大家到我们今天的Critical Laughter 的播客。我是
Wait, there's actually a word for podcast? I guess they have to. I'm just surprised you know the word for podcast.
我是很聪明，你不知道我。
To translate, welcome to Critical Laughter Podcast.
We're kind of assuming that's what he said.
That is exactly what I said.
Hooray, I speak Chinese.
I'm Grant. Do I introduce myself now?
And I'm Craig.
So, I really did look up the word for podcast beforehand. This is one I legitimately planned out ahead.
That's awesome. All right.
Well, I didn't feel like translating critical laughter. That's why I was like, critical laughter.
Actually, they probably would have done the same thing in China.
Probably. Actually, if they were to translate it in Chinese, they would probably either just say the English or they would just put sounds together that sounded like it.
Okay.
So like or something like that.
Okay.
Something similar like that. I mean, like for example, tangent. For example, like Coca-Cola is Coca-Cola.
Yes, it is.
So,
I remember that one.
Do you know what it means?
No, I don't remember what it means. I just remember
Coca-Cola has really good marketing. It sounds like Coca-Cola, but it also means mouth. It's like mouth full, mouth happy, or something like that.
That's awesome.
They legitimately found something that sounds like Coca-Cola, but also has a translation that makes sense.
That's pretty cool.
So,
well, enough about
this podcast today. Brought to you by Coca-Cola. Right out the bat.
Wow. So Coca-Cola,
today's imaginary sponsor.
Today's imaginary sponsor.
Ironically, though, isn't this a Pepsi product right here?
I don't think it is. Pretty sure that's Coca-Cola.
I don't know.
Anyway, today
might be Dr. Pepper.
We are
Dr. Pepper's Pepsi.
Doing a different topic. We are going to take some superheroes and figure out what their characters would be like in the Pathfinder role-playing system.
Yeah.
So bet you weren't expecting that from the intro.
As a disclaimer, though, the characters we will not touch and ever will touch or talk about at this point in time are the Avengers, correct?
We might talk about eventually, but for reasons we're not going to go into right now, we're avoiding them for right now. Yeah. But so today we decided to talk about, who were we talking about? I see your list over there, but I can't remember who we decided.
We are going to do the classic DC superheroes of Batman and Superman, and then we're going to jump over to the Marvel Universe and talk about The Thing, because of Fantastic Flop, thank you.
What thing?
The thing. There's but one thing, what Scott. Thing? the thing.
The thing, right.
The thing we talked about
before?
You
have something on your back.
What? What?
You have something on your back.
It's a giant beetle! Tangent. Okay. While we're on that tangent, Country Time 118 is made by Kraft. So, neither.
So apparently Kraft, you're getting a side note.
Next time.
Okay, so shall we start?
Our final character, we had a fourth character set aside. We are going to do the man, the myth, the legend, the Wolverine.
Come on, bub.
All right, so we're going to kind of do this based on time right now. We're already about 5 minutes in, so we probably want to be a little quick on them.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into depth. We're not going to make character sheets for these characters. We're just giving basic what we think is a great place to start to make these characters. So, let's do Batman first.
I'm Batman.
So, I have an idea for Batman that's going to sound controversial at first. I think Batman is a bard.
Okay.
Because
I can almost agree with this.
Because here's the thing. Batman is good at everything. Like, he is not the strongest member of the Justice League by measure of physical strength.
Correct.
And technically Wonder Woman is a better fighter than he is, in hand-to-hand combat. So he's not, but one of the things he is very smart and knows a lot about a lot of things. Okay. And that is exactly what the bard does. He is a master of all trades, and his job, bardic knowledge gives him access to all knowledge.
What if Batman multi-classed?
He probably would.
Like, monk.
He might do a monk.
I could see that. I mean, because bards naturally aren't going to have a super high fighting stats, so I would imagine like mostly bard with maybe a few levels of monk would be my guess.
I was also thinking there's also a prestige class. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but it's called like the Shadow Dancer.
The Shadow.
The Shadow.
But I figure he'd probably also multi-class into that, and so he's a bard in my opinion, mostly.
All right.
I agree. He might have something that gives him a little more.
I disagree though, because I've played bards and I can't figure your thing out. And I'm
played a bard.
I've played bards.
When did you play bard?
Back in.
It was before you started playing Indy's campaign.
It was when I was playing the Battle Dancer.
Yeah.
That could take down.
That was in the main Indies campaign?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before he got shipped off to
the Navy?
No.
Indiana.
So, rest in peace, Indy. We miss
He's
you.
still alive.
Watch, he's gonna listen to this just on a whim and then comment, be like, I'm not dead, guys.
Oh, I know he's not dead. I saw a post on Facebook from him. He's actually in another campaign, and honestly, I think he'd be awesome to bring in as a guest on the show sometime.
I'm not even friends with him on Facebook.
Batman, I believe, is a fighter at heart, but like you said, fighters are very strong and not intelligent. The problem is Batman is very intelligent. There is a archetype class of a fighter that is based on intelligence. Specifically, it's prestige class. It's the duelist.
Ooh, he could be a duelist.
The reason why I say Batman can't be a bard is because bards are charismatic. And Batman is not.
See, I might disagree with you.
Bruce Wayne is, though.
Here's the thing.
No, not necessarily. Bruce Wayne's kind of...
Because here's the thing. We always think of charisma as like being likable and being friendly, which is part of it, but it's more force of personality. You know, it's being able to kind of...
But that's the thing. Batman's personality puts everyone off.
Yeah, but that's intimidate, which is a charisma-based skill.
All right.
Agree to disagree?
So, Grant...
I see your point, and I think I'm going to look that up later. Well, I guess I've looked it up now, but I'll look at it more later. I still feel
like Bruce Wayne would be pretty charismatic, though.
Oh, you're almost talking like a different person. Maybe he's like my summoner, where he's one by himself, but then he becomes something more because he gets fused to this monster. He gets fused to the Knight, the Bat.
He's literally the Knight.
The Knight, yeah, clearly. So... I don't know. I disagree because I feel like the bards are more charismatic. They're more of the support, whereas Batman is the detective. He goes off on his own. He takes out the little guys, and he uses his intelligence to fight rather than his charisma, his intimidation.
That's true.
So, Scott, what do you think? What class?
That's all, folks. We'll see you next time on.
Okay then.
I don't know. I already kind of discussed it. I think I agree with the bard, but multi-class and monk. Mm-hmm. So multi-class bard and monk.
Now I'm curious, what makes you think monk? Just because of the physical?
Batman's very hand-to-hand combat, and he's trained in lots of different martial arts. And when I think of martial arts, I think of monk.
That's true.
Well, and monks are also the only ones that consistently have different builds based on a martial artist style in Pathfinder.
Yeah, because I feel like fighter, generally speaking, is like sword or weapons, whereas Batman does have a lot of like gadgets and stuff like that. But I feel like he's more known for his martial arts, and so martial arts equate more to monk, in my opinion.
That's true. That makes sense.
Okay, all right. So I think we can probably agree on this next trait for Batman: the race. Flat out human.
Yeah, he has to be human.
I was thinking gnome.
Okay, defend it. Why are you thinking gnome?
Because they look like bats.
Is there not bat folk in here? Hold on. There's cat folk.
I think we're getting off on tangent.
That's a different character.
To man bat. I'm so glad you knew exactly where we were going with that. So...
Strix are basically bat people.
That's still a man bat, though.
I know. No, but I agree. He's he's got to be a human.
Human?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then any feats we can think of for Batman.
Left and right.
Left and right? Okay.
He seems like he's pretty balanced, so.
I can see that.
This is actually the one aspect of this I haven't thought of before. Like, what feats would he have?
I think I'm going to...
I have never been
Combat
good.
reflexes.
So full disclosure, I have never been good at selecting feats. It always takes me forever. Like, next to skills, it's probably
What generally
the
would you
most.
look for if you were starting a level, let's say level 3 Batman? What feat would you be looking for?
I don't even know.
Well,
if I'm going with a monk and if I was going with a monk and a bard, I probably wouldn't be going with many weapons. So I probably wouldn't do quick draw, which is what I usually default to. Level 3, there's 2 feats?
Yeah, so you would have...
By default.
I'm just saying, what feat would you select at level 3? Like, because it gives you a little bit more room to grow. You're not a level 1. You meet most of the requirements for basic feats.
I don't have them all memorized, but I would probably go with something that would up my, because if I'm going monk, I would probably go with something that's going to up my, hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah. I would probably go with one of the skill focuses, actually, like skill focus stealth. Because that's another one of Batman's biggest traits, is he just disappears and you don't know where he went. So I think he'd do whatever he needed to max that stat
At level
out.
3, though?
Yeah.
Because I feel like lower level, you're going to want to make sure you're building up the combat so that he's nice and powerful, and then start going towards.
But
stuff.
Batman is the skills guy. He's the detective. He's the one that's going to sneak off and get the information for the team.
Well, I'm saying stealth though. Knowledge is a completely different ballgame here.
Well,
I personally, I wouldn't go with stealth early on. I would wait till a little bit later. I mean, how many ranks per level does a bard or a
lot.
A bard gets a lot of skill.
Yeah.
So
Like
let's
6?
so assuming your first few levels you're going bard, like you're not going to need to worry about your knowledge at all.
There's a reason why skill focus though is better to get early on, because later on you're trying to do more focused feats. So I'm actually going to pull up the...
I don't know. I would go more combat.
No,
make
and that's
sure he's
fair.
combat ready. Because otherwise you're not going to really have a good Batman till later. You're going to have a rogue.
Well, skill focus has one very special thing though. Let me just bring it up.
Special?
It gives you a +3 right off the top, and then once you have
Once
10
you have 10 or more
ranks
ranks in that skill.
it goes up
so
to
skill
6.
focus has to be done, especially if you're trying to do...
I mean, you could do that at like level 1.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, level 1, you don't have a lot of feats that are helpful right off the bat. I mean, so I could see it being a level 1. I wouldn't say at level 3, though.
So,
That's fair.
yeah.
Because, I mean, because level 1, there's not a lot, like even fighting-wise, there's not a lot of feats you can take that would be even helpful at all.
Yeah. I guess my thought on this is that I feel Batman is more of a skills person than a fighting person, because, like, when we look at someone like Superman, Superman
is a tank.
Superman's a tank.
Superman.
But Batman wins not because he can outpunch him, but because he can outthink and outmaneuver and all sorts of things.
Here's the problem with Batman, and it's seen on every meme actually defending Batman. Batman has too much crap going on. So, you are completely right. But at the same time, he also has so much fighting that if you skip that, you're skipping Batman. If you skip the knowledge, you're skipping Batman. So, I guess it stands to reason. Can you make a good Batman unless you're starting at like level 10 plus?
No, I think for most of these heroes, you'd have to be 10 or higher.
Just
to get
because,
close.
I think especially a lot of DC heroes, just because a lot of them are like perfect. Mm-hmm. There's some flaws, but a lot of them are just too perfect. So it would take, if you're starting a low level campaign, it'd be near impossible to get a good Batman. Because you would need a lot of knowledge, you'd need a lot of stealth, you'd need a lot of fighting, you'd need just pretty much everything, and you would need to be at least level 10, if not more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you could make a level 20 Batman, like, easy.
That'd be pretty good.
Easy,
Well,
but
I
like,
think the reason why we're
I don't
looking
think
at
it's
a
feasible.
lower level character is because a lot of people, they want to build their heroes. Grant, you did this with Captain America a while
Yeah.
back.
Oh,
But you can't always start out at level 10 or level 20. Sometimes you have to start at level 1. But if you
Which I agree with. I'm just saying I don't think you can build a proper Batman unless you're starting off later.
Yeah.
Unless
but
you want to
can
start
build up to a proper Batman. Just like
At the same time, though, it's like with how long it would take, I don't know if it would be worth it because
depends on your GM.
at the same time, though, if you're starting at, let's say you're starting at level 1.
Okay.
So we're starting at level 1. You want to make Batman. Grant is actually a perfect example of this with when he made Raj as Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Yep.
About what level did you guys start at?
We started at level 1.
Level 1. Okay. How many levels in before you started drifting off from Captain America and doing another build?
It was pretty quick, and I agree with you on that. Although I guess one problem was I was new and didn't know the game, so we took an archetype that was
one thing,
awful.
but at the same time, like I'm saying,
Yeah.
because if you're starting out going, okay, I want to be Batman, but you're starting at level 1, as the game progresses, even though you're supposed to keep player knowledge and character knowledge separate, you don't always. It's a little bit pops out and you go, oh, well, I'm trying to do Batman, but I need more. I need to be better in this to help out the party.
Yeah.
So then you start doing that, and then you end up a few levels later with something that's not Batman. And in order to go back, you'd have to spend who knows how long to get back on track.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I feel like if you're starting low level, you're going to end up with something that's not Batman.
That's fair. And honestly, if you are starting low level, this is what I would do. So let's say you were dead set on playing Batman or another hero. Make a build plan. Write down what you're going to do and refine that build plan as you go. And don't focus on what the game is doing. Focus on your build plan.
Stick to it.
Stick to it. Because what's going to happen if you're the one changing for your party, then they're going to expect you to change and adapt for every situation in the
That's
future.
true.
If you stick to
Then I guess you would be Batman.
But to be fair, also just to throw out one last feat, as you guys were arguing, I thought that a perfect feat for a low-level Batman would be improved initiative. Batman's reaction time is probably one of the highest in Justice League.
That would make sense.
Yeah, actually, I think that's the great one.
Yes, I win.
Can you take improved initiative multiple times or is it just once?
It's just once. As
But
far
you
as-
know what? Once is all you need.
It's true, though. Like, that +4 will put you at a good advantage forever.
You just take a look at my wizard, guys. All right.
Which wizard?
The one for the odd level.
I'm just kidding. Because you always build wizards.
All right. So we now have the man that is faster than a speeding bullet, Superman.
Superman.
What class?
Superman.
It's the Superman class.
I don't think.
So-
Like you guys were saying, he's a tank. Mm-hmm. Barbarian?
No, barbarians are too wild, I think. Like, they're definitely the beefiest, I think.
Oh yeah, because barbarians can't be
They can't be lawful.
and
He'd be
Superman
lawful.
would be lawful.
Yeah.
I think there's only one class left, guys. It's the anti-paladin.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking a rogue. I'm Superman. Backstab.
So the class, he's going to be a paladin.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
My guess is
Unless you're going into non-standard classes, I would say Paladin's probably best.
I can't think of anything non-standard. That
I don't know off the top of my head.
No,
I'm sure you can find one by researching, but just off the top of the head, I think Paladin would be the best bet because he has to be lawful.
Yeah.
If I was
Unless you're going with one of the weird alternate universe Supermans.
Yeah. Well, and for a paladin though, there's some quirks with Superman that need to be addressed. Superman isn't virtually indestructible, so you're going to be looking at crazy armor.
Yeah. There's
and also
actually
the flight.
Yeah. So for the armor, there's actually a paladin archetype where they forge a bond with their armor. Okay. I don't remember all the details off the top of my head, but it does make them stronger. I think it makes them resistance to critical hits, which I feel like is good for Batman.
What about critical laughter?
What was that?
No rise
Batman or Superman? You said it was
Superman.
Oh.
Sorry.
Let's see. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
I'm thinking though, because don't paladins also choose a domain like clerics do?
I don't think they do. I don't remember that one.
I thought they.
I don't think Superman has enough money to buy a domain.
Not that kind of domain. So when we
okay.
say domain, we mean like they're worshiping domain. They follow a certain edict or cause. Clerics worship a domain. They have like the travel domain, the wind domain, the earth domain. I think is.
Those are domains.
So don't paladins have something similar to that?
I don't think so. Like I can't remember anything like that.
Okay.
I'm
really regretting it.
None of us have played a paladin.
Actually, I'm about to.
Are you?
I'm joining a campaign, and I will be playing a paladin in a group of criminals.
What?
Oh wow!
Actually, no, that makes sense. I was like, how are you playing a paladin? And then as soon as you said the plot, I was like, no, yeah, that makes more sense.
that is me to a T.
Okay, so I found the archetype. It's called the Divine Defender.
Okay, Divine.
And so normally a paladin gets a bond with their weapon or a mount.
Yes.
Instead, they get a bond with their armor, and so for 1 minute per paladin level, they can increase their armor bonus by +1. That starts at level 5 and it goes up every three levels beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can add qualities to it like champion, fortification, and other stuff to it in place of those bonuses.
Okay. So how do we solve the flight problem? Can we solve the flight problem with the class?
Not with the class. I think it'd be race.
Okay. So
can I go first on race?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm going to put it out there. I think you would need to build a custom race from Advanced Race Guide.
You probably could. I think that's a good choice.
I think the problem you're going to run into is Superman has so many different things about him. Even just like normal quirks, like the fact that he's an alien and he has different qualities from the fact that he's an alien, I think your best bet would be to do a custom race. Which, if you're doing a custom race, you could stick flight in there.
So you could do flight, and then you could also do damage reduction.
Could.
Except for...
So I don't know if either of you know, I was trying to look it up. There's a trait that makes it so that you're dazed in the sun. Is there something that's opposite that gives you more power when you're in the sun?
You'd have to tweak the rules, and that's one thing that you can do with the custom race guide.
Yeah. But there's not an actual feat like thing like that. Okay.
What I would do is, in the sunlight, you would tweak the rules for the sunlight, but the thing is, you can't have all positive traits. You have to have negative traits.
No, you would.
I wonder if the better option would be to make him weaker out of sunlight.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a similar idea. Is there something like that?
Not that I know of, but I mean,
it'd be tweaking the rule that you're weaker in sunlight to being you're weaker.
Basically, you'd
that
say
would, I mean that, and I feel like that would be the same idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that would make sense.
Although I wonder if that would be more. That'd almost be a bigger penalty because we spend a lot of time inside as adventurers. Like you go in caves.
That's true, I guess.
So you'd have to tweak the rules to figure out the right balance.
Which, depending on your GM, you like most GMs are pretty okay with tweaking rules, especially if it's a experienced GM. Like most GMs are okay with tweaking the rules, especially for story. Because you'll find some GMs that are like really into the main like game, but most GMs are about the story because a lot of GMs make the story up. And so if it works better for the story or if it's going to make things more interesting, they're going to be a lot more willing to like work with you and let you do different things like this. So if you come to them and say, "Hey, I have this idea for this custom race that I want. I'm trying to build a Superman-esque character," and you went over everything, your GM would probably go, "Yeah, that's fine." And worst case scenario, if it's not working, you can reevaluate later.
Yeah. Well, and one thing too, if you're going to do a Superman character and you're building the custom race, make sure you include damage reduction against, and then you basically will reduce the damage dealt to you from other things, unless if it's whatever you select to be your weakness, your crit.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to make a perfect Superman because Superman is too perfect.
Yeah,
you know, although if you're doing Superman, like I think it's a must that you have to incorporate the kryptonite weakness in there sometime.
Yeah,
and somewhere just like make up a thing like where it's like rock allergy or something like that, just for fun.
Yeah, make it like copper.
Just something like that. That would be really funny.
Is copper?
So it's like actually that might actually be in the race builder. Yeah. Something similar.
It is.
weakness to certain materials.
Yeah, because you can build similar to like if you wanted to build your own custom type werewolf, you just make yourself weak to soap.
Huh. So you could do that. That actually makes sense. Yeah, you're not gonna get a perfect one just because he's a little too perfect. He doesn't have that many weaknesses. But you can, I think with a race builder, it would be easier to build something similar. And then when you start adding in armor, or like paladins get spells, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
So adding spells, mystic items and stuff like that, you could get a really good character. It's not going to be perfect, but I think the race builder is your best bet.
So I just thought of one thing. If you didn't want to build your own custom race, because that is daunting, even if you've played for a while.
Oh yeah, it's actually really hard. I built a custom race a while ago, but it took me a while to find, because it's really hard to balance the good and bad traits.
Yeah, because I mean, your first initial reaction is you just want to make it as good as possible, which doesn't always make for a fun game. But so if you didn't, then I think a good option would be the Aasimars.
Yeah,
they're like celestial beings. They do have access to a feat later on that lets them fly. They have access to another feat that lets them do energy projection spells a certain number of times per day, like his laser vision. So if you did, I agree. I think the better option would be your own custom race, just because Superman, Krypton. But if you didn't want to deal with that, then go with an Aasimar. And plus, Aasimars are just cool. I've played them, and I think they're one of the best classes. Or
yeah, I think that would be a good substitute.
Especially if you have. Are you trying to get that to show up on the recording, Craig?
I wasn't doing anything, guys.
Well, congratulations, Grant. It is now on the recording because you mentioned it. So, but I think Aasimars would be a good option, especially if your GM doesn't let you do a custom race, because not all GMs will let you do a custom race.
And also, the GM may let you do a custom race, but they may not give you enough point allotment.
That's true as well.
Yeah.
The point allotment can make or break a character. Like, if you don't have a high enough point allotment, you could just be like, well, I just made something that's worse than a human. So...
Actually, you have to try really hard to make something worse than a human.
Hold on, they did it.
I made something worse than a kobold. I made something worse than a kobold. It's an earthworm.
I've tried so many times to try and think of a way to do a kobold, and I just can't bring myself to do it because their stats are awful.
Challenge accepted.
You're going to do one.
I will make the most awesome kobold ever.
I am looking forward to it.
It's been challenged. I will write it down.
I'm just looking forward to when it actually happens. It will happen.
It will happen. Do you want it to be in the campaign? Because I could do it as a villain.
Could.
Do it as a villain. I vote for a villain. I want to fight this kobold.
Honestly, you could make it. I mean,
okay.
I mean, whether it's an NPC that gets added in, or you could actually put it in as part of like a twist or something like that.
Except now the twist will be expected. Time for the twist. It's a kobold, isn't it?
It's Craig. You won't know when it's coming.
No, I'll hide him.
Like, I fully expect to be surprised for when he's coming in. Unless you go through every single episode going, is it going to be in this episode?
Honestly, part of me thinks...
Because now
that'll just be part of the intro now.
Craig is literally just going to wait until we forgot about it and then just bounce it on us.
Oh, yeah.
3 years later. All right.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 800. We're fighting a kobold today. I don't know what that's all about.
Whereas the fans would be like, kobold, kobold, kobold.
My fan fiction is right now.
So, yeah. Sorry. I won't tell you guys when or where this guy's going to come, but
I look forward to
kick your butt. I'm
my.
Pointing at Grant. It is coming after Grant.
Oh boy, that's a problem. I need to research some spells.
Are you going to name it, or do I get to name it in the middle of the episode?
I want Scott to name it. I want Scott to name it. Oh well.
I think I already know the sponsor for this particular episode. In fact, I'm going to write it down.
Sponsored by Sizzler. I don't know why.
I'll let you guys know later.
So let's see. Are there any feats we want to focus on with Superman? Wow,
I feel like he wouldn't be. Oh, okay. I feel like
upbringing. Could that be one of his feats?
I feel like he wouldn't he wouldn't be doing anything with weapons.
Right. I think that's a problem we're going to...
maybe at first.
Here's the thing. I think we're going to run into this with a lot of superheroes, because most superheroes fight with fists.
Except for the thing...
Not necessarily. I mean, there's some that have specifically have weapons.
We have Thor and Captain America, but like
Wolverine.
That's true.
Deadpool.
Okay. But I mean, think about like, you have like Spider-Man. He's generally punching
Widow.
Or whipping things out.
Spider-Man.
Excuse me.
I could. Yeah, Black Widow.
And we can't.
I don't think Grant wants to play this game.
We had this problem with Batman too, where he's mostly hand to hand. He has a few other things. Superman. Iron Man has his
I feel like Superman is more on the magic side, though.
That's true.
Because Superman doesn't necessarily punch things. Like he
does.
He does punch things, but it's not like in the same manner of Batman. Is what I'm saying.
No. Oh, I know which one Superman needs. Flyby attack.
Oh, he does need that.
He needs that because that's how he attacks. He's super strong, but he's going to come up and he's basically just going to come and pummel you at Mach, whatever he can. And basically, super strength on top of Mach is.
And then we also...
Iron Man's whole body is a weapon. Just throwing it out there.
No, yeah, that's fair.
Iron Man's whole suit is a weapon.
After the Extremis in the comics, his body is literally a weapon.
I guess what my thought is now evolving into is all of the heroes fight with their fists at points. That may not be their main thing.
I feel like though Batman especially is more hand to hand.
Yeah.
He could have weapons.
Actually, Batman, as far as weapon feats go,
it would be smaller weapons like daggers and
exotic.
stuff like that. Exotic.
Oh,
weapons.
He'll
right.
be taking exotic weapon feats.
Yeah. But Superman doesn't ever use weapons.
No, that's not true. There's one comic I read where he was fighting... I can't even... Oh, man. Apocalypse. Wow, that took me too long.
Wait, he was fighting Apocalypse?
No, oh, dang it. Crap, I fail.
No.
I'm sorry.
Darkseid?
Darkseid.
No, it wasn't Darkseid even. The one who killed him.
Oh.
I'm the only one forgetting.
You are the only one that said he was fighting an X-Men villain.
That's true. Let me have a little dignity.
Yeah, I'm not.
Why can't I do this?
I know who you're talking about, but I'm not a Superman fan. So,
Craig, come on, you watched the movie.
I did watch the movie. That's how unmoved I was by it.
How did I do this?
I remember the previews and the credits.
The rest, I just remember how it should have ended, where it's literally
Doomsday.
Doomsday, yeah.
I knew it started with a D.
How it should have ended, though. That's what I remember. Is Batman grabs the spear because I'm Batman, and
but
drives
anyway,
through Doomsday's heart.
There was a time when he was fighting Doomsday again, like after the time he killed him, and some weird stuff happened.
Superman, he never learns.
Some weird stuff happened, and Superman got like these magical power-ups given to him, and one of them was like this
I thought
awesome
Superman was
laser
weak
sword.
to magic.
Wasn't actually magic. That's just
I'm
the best
weak
way.
to magic, except for this magic.
That's all I
That
can
was an
think
Iron
of
Man, but
because
yeah.
I read this comic like probably a decade ago. I'm old, but
You read it when you were like
16?
in your teens.
16,
Oh.
maybe a little older, 20s, younger 20s.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 22. Younger 20s. Back in my youth.
Back in my day, about 5 years ago.
That was
Viewers,
totally,
how old is Grant?
That's what
anyway,
I'm saying.
random. That was a random tangent, but he has used a weapon once at least.
Okay, so
Well, but
took
no,
the
you never
penalty to
actually-
use a weapon.
You never actually finished it though. You just said he used magic, and then I was like, wait, what?
He was given like these, not magic, but like these mystical power up.
Okay,
items.
what was it though?
It was a sword.
Sword?
There was one at least that was a
So
sword.
was it like a physical sword though, or was it like a force type sword? Like with like
That's still a weapon.
mystical energy though.
It's
That,
still
no,
a
that's
weapon.
still that's magic.
But you still use it as a weapon.
Well, it's
For
not a
anyone who
physical
can't
weapon.
see.
What I'm saying is like because
Anybody can use any weapon. They just take a penalty.
okay, Craig, answer me this: is there a spell that will let you
Yes.
make force
Yes.
weapons? So
You can-
it's magic.
Oh, okay. Oh,
create
that's where you're going. Okay,
phantasmal
that makes more sense. I'm
weapons.
sorry, I misunderstood.
No, I'm like talking physical weapons that you forge out of
That I don't know.
blacksmith.
Sorry, guys. I'm rolling dice over here.
So in that case, Superman doesn't use weapons.
Yeah.
He like maybe in some obscure comic, maybe
He used Mjolnir once.
there you go.
Another. I just want to win this point.
Okay, that one I
No,
will
know.
give you because that was legitimately a comic.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, there was a Marvel versus DC comic series.
And he wielded it?
Yeah,
But the enchantment was taken off.
Wonder
That's
Woman
actually
wielded it as well.
That's true. I remember that.
So why are they worthy, but not Captain America?
Because Captain America's Hydra.
Obviously.
Oh, did you not listen to that episode?
Not yet. I'm going to edit it tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, they're.
Probably Saturday.
I think that's one of the things that confuses many people is who actually gets to wield Mjolnir because people.
That's probably another discussion.
Yeah.
We'll
But,
talk about it another day.
Anyway, back to Superman.
Superman.
Are we?
We're going to have to really rush through the thing in Wolverine, guys.
We're fine. No.
Okay.
I think we're good with that though. Like,
Yeah, I think
do we maybe actually want to save?
I thought I... Did I?
we were almost done on Superman
Yeah,
anyways.
we're done with
Yeah.
Superman.
Like, if there's legitimate something else you had, because we were talking about
I had
feats, which was
something
the
about
last.
a feat for Superman, but your guys' debate went so long I forgot
Sorry.
it.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. I literally had a funny one for Superman.
You know what? Actually, do we maybe want to split this episode in two?
Nah, let's just
Okay.
speed round the
I
last
don't.
two.
We only have two more. I don't know if we could talk about them for an entire.
But
like,
this is the
40,
first.
50
Okay,
minutes.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
I bet we could get through them pretty quick. So
Okay.
speed round initiated. We have
Okay.
to get through the thing and we'll
Lightning round.
Lightning. So
That's Storm though.
we'll talk about Storm another day.
That was thunder. Actually,
Thing class. Scott,
class for thing.
class for a thing.
Class.
That is hard.
I already know.
You already know.
Barbarian.
Barbarian would be a pretty
Bard.
good class.
No.
Personally,
Oh no. I'm. No.
He could be a monk. He's kind of a punching, grappling guy.
all right. You guys want to hear my guess?
Well, I have a theory, but
Go for it.
Fused Adolin. He's a
that
son.
is better than anything I thought of.
You guys remember my beast?
No, yeah, that actually makes total sense.
Yeah.
Is there a way you can make it so that the Edelin doesn't ever get defused?
Yes.
There is. Oh, I didn't know
Like
that.
that a permanent
Yes.
fusion? Okay.
It becomes basically permanent.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And even if it doesn't become permanent, you can cheat, and basically it takes a minute to summon. So literally, you get a ring of sustenance, you summon it. So for 2 hours and 1 minute, you are not the thing.
Well, I'm pretty sure Ben Grimm was not the thing for about 2 hours and 1 minute.
That actually makes sense because, like, what I had been thinking of for making him stony was just to make him an Oread, which is a stone-like race of people.
Yeah.
But I think that fits better.
Yeah. Well, that, and it gives you the ability to upgrade him and build him. Like, it's going to take some time because the
Yeah.
Adolin needs to grow. But once you get to the point, you can make him any size, you can give him toughness, you can stack things so well with that.
Yeah.
So,
And that would also give you access to, like, damage reduction, which I think would be a big thing for him. And also added strength bonus.
Using that same idea, you could actually make a pretty cool backstory. You could say human.
Yeah, he definitely
Make him human, and then make the summoner like Edelin part an accident. Like he didn't mean for it to happen, and then it became fused with him, and then he was like, and then you could even make part of his storyline that he's trying to find a way to undo the spell that he did, or someone else did.
How
onto
much
him.
is the Edelin's powers connected to the summoner's charisma score?
not very much.
Because I'm just thinking, like, the main...
The only thing connected to the summoner's charisma score is how many other summons he can do. And you can't do those other summons while you're fused.
Yeah, so I think maybe for him then, the best option to get a realistic thing, not for optimization, but to get a realistic thing, would be to give him a 10 charisma score, because he can't cast spells.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, he's got to intimidate his charisma.
That's
based.
true.
Like the thing is very intimidating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
but you have to understand, the Adolin scores and the person scores,
Oh, are they separate?
there are separate. The only ones that kind of mix and match are the mental scores, but it depends on who it is, because if the human inside the Adolin has a higher charisma, but you don't want to play it out as if that, then play with the Adolin's charisma score. So give the Adolin a lower charisma score.
So that we're getting back into the discussion of what charisma is.
Yeah.
Because generally speaking, most people think of charisma as like
It technically is attractiveness.
good looks, attractiveness, like how well you are with people. But at the same time, it's also used to intimidate.
Yeah.
I think Grant's answer earlier is the best. It's how well you move people.
Yeah. So I guess you could argue it for a while, but I don't know. I don't know if you would want to have him a low charisma score or not.
Well, so that's like I said, that would be.
Or I guess at the same time, you could make the what?
I was just about to say lightning. We're
right,
because we still got it.
Well, I was going to.
You're fine. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say you could also. This is nothing you could. GM overrules the rulebooks.
Yeah.
Yep. So in all honesty, you could have have him have a low charisma, but have the GM make a rule that you get a high bonus to your intimidate checks,
and there are
based on the fact that you're spooky looking.
There are feats to boost intimidate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you could have. I guess you could have a low charisma. You could take some feats. You could even have the GM say, okay, well, you're pretty freaky looking, so yeah, you would get a bonus on intimidate.
Even the reason I'm thinking of low charisma is to disable his spell casting, because again, the thing doesn't spell cast.
That's true.
Like what Craig was saying, the scores are different. So you could have the Edolin have a high charisma score and have it use the intimidate.
Correct. You can play with it a lot.
All in all, I think the thing is one of the harder ones to build, just because.
Well, we just built him.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. As far as feats go, really quick though, one that the thing has to have is basically the feat that allows you to fight with anything.
Improvised weapon?
Yeah.
Improvised weapon. So the thing has
to have... Isn't there one that's called throw anything?
Yeah,
and throw anything.
Yeah.
And then I think the rest would just be boosting the Edolin to make him beefier.
Monster feats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a funny one, because he doesn't use weapons either, but he also tends to use improvised weapons a lot.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one. It's kind of like the in-between.
Yeah.
So you still wouldn't be using really weapons.
But you're using whatever's available to you. Rocks, trees, cars, people.
And then you could also give him feats that are just general combat ones. Like he probably would have like maybe improved grapple. Because does he grapple people a lot?
Yeah, he does. Depends on the situation, honestly. Yeah. Especially depends on what his end goal is.
Yeah.
If it's to knock someone out, he's not going to grapple them. Yeah. If it's to subdue them, he would grapple them.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I can't think of any feats for him.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Then last but not least, Wolverine.
He's a barbarian. There's nothing else for him.
I was about to
cleric.
He is a white cleric.
Hello, Bob.
But yeah, he's a barbarian, and there's also like a barbarian archetype which gives increased healing. Like eventually, barbarians can get rapid healing, but there's a. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the wrong thing. There's an archetype that gives improved damage resistance. Mm-hmm. And I actually think that fits well because most of the time when we say damage resistance, we think that the sword bounces off. Boing. But it actually says in the description that it can be viewed as either the weapon not being effective or rapid healing. So I think, that would probably be with him. You give him the damage reduction and just describe it as he gets stabbed, but the wound quickly starts closing.
Which is what happens, really.
Yeah.
Especially if you watch the new X-Men Apocalypse.
Weapons. Weapon X. With weapons, would you think of some way to fuse the blades inside of him, or would you just make a custom weapon that he would just carry?
Here's the thing. So I've actually thought about this before, and there is actually barbarian. I don't remember what it's called, but like a barbarian class feature where you can select to get claws, which I think fits with that. The problem is you could not make them metal later.
Well, what's the material there? Bone?
Yeah, it would just be it would be biological material, which fits with.
Is there a spell? Because I know there's spells that you can change things to metal? There'd be a spell that would fit in with that.
I know we can do metal to wood.
Yeah.
There
And
might
then
be
wood to
something
snakes.
I don't know if there's anything that would specifically turn it into metal. I know there are spells or abilities that let you pass damage resistance and hardness as though it's metal.
Mm-hmm. I think you could probably work it out, even if you have to do like a exception with your GM.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you could do something like that, but have some type of penalty. Like every time you use your claws, you take a few points of damage.
Oh, I can solve this. His race. Just make him half dragon.
Does that go? Oh, that.
Because you can do you can do half metallic dragon.
But would that make your claws actually metal?
But they would make them sharper than normal tissue.
That's true. I guess the main thing I'm thinking
I
is...
guess it depends. I mean, if your GM is willing to make an exception to do something like with actual metal claws, yeah, especially if it's later on in the game, that would actually make sense because Wolverine had bone claws for a while.
Yeah.
When he first started out.
When he was just a young lad and
When he was a young lad of
ancient Egypt.
25.
He was 25 like in the Civil War. And he
No,
got-
legitimately 25. not like looks 25 because
No, yeah.
he probably looked 25 most of his life.
Until Hugh Jackman played him.
Hugh Jackman.
So feats, probably...
Exotic weapon. If they're the claws are not
Yeah, I guess
actual
depends.
claws,
Yeah.
you need an exotic weapon.
Yeah. So it depends on how you're going to build
Yeah,
it.
so there's that option. I would say you'd probably need an increased number of rounds of rage.
Toughness.
Toughness. Oh, yeah, you would need toughness.
What about
Isn't there like a die hard feat?
I think so.
is there a feat that improves
is,
like
is-
tracking and stuff like that? I know that Ranger has it.
Either you would
You could do skill focus, survival.
Yeah, I mean because Wolverine is known for being able to sniff people
Yeah.
out. Literally.
Endurance and die hard are good ones.
Yeah, because he has enhanced senses as well.
Yeah. But I think those would be the main ones. Especially since we're doing lightning round. That's not super lightning-y.
I know.
It was actually legitimately faster.
No,
that was I think our fastest round. Yeah, we'll have to look into that a little bit more.
I mean,
Maybe we
even
could
the
do
thing
a...
was pretty fast actually.
Yeah.
So, I
Maybe-
guess. Any final thoughts?
No.
Batman's a bard. Bard man.
I'm Birdman.
No. Fighter class duelist.
I still multi-class is my opinion.
That's fine.
Bard man.
Viewers, let us know what you think. We'll put down. I took a little bit of notes. We'll put our thoughts in the comments.
And also in the comments, tell us if there's any other heroes you'd like us to analyze.
Remember, though, Avengers
Off limits for now.
Phase
We'll
1,
see if we
Phase
change.
2, and Phase 3 are off limits at this time.
Here's my challenge. You take your favorite hero, regardless of if it's Avengers or not, and do it yourself. Give us your thoughts on what you would do to make that hero, and we'll pick our favorite, and we'll discuss it in a future episode.
I like that.
Yeah.
Grant approves this message.
Cool. So there's another contest out. I know that previously, beforehand, we had a contest on
Memes for the Hail Hydra cap.
memes for the Hill Hydra cap. So we still want to see those.
Although by the time this releases, we might be done with that.
No, we probably won't have done it.
We'll let
see
you
where we're at.
we'll let you know. It'll probably be like an addendum to one of the episodes saying when, or we'll tweet it out like when the deadline is for the different contests to end.
And honestly, if you still send us a funny one after we pick a winner, maybe we'll still feature you.
Yeah.
Especially if you like tweet it us, we'll retweet you.
Yeah. So, cool. And also remember, Coca-Cola sponsorship. We love Coca-Cola products.
This is starting to sound like a real sponsorship.
No, it's an unofficial one, but we're trying to convince them to send us stuff. That's what
The
we've been doing this
imaginary.
entire time.
The imaginary sponsorship.
So, yeah.
I don't know what we're gonna do if we ever actually get a sponsor.
I don't know what we're going to do.
Are we gonna still do imaginary sponsors? Today's imaginary sponsor is this one, but our real sponsor is this one, so please support them, because we can't lose them.
Honestly, I kind of like the idea that we just keep doing imaginary sponsors. Like, if someone wants to sponsor us, we'll do something on the website for them. How about that? But I kind of like this running joke. Maybe the fans hate it, but I love it.
Screw the fans. Hail Hydra.
Okay.
On that note, yeah, I think that's everything we got today.
I was just going to let you start it, but okay.
I don't know. You've always started the outro before.
So yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. I have been Scott.
I'm Grant.
And I believe I'm still Greg.
Bardman.
And until next time.